Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Bounce. I'm Lexi,
I'm Janine.
and today we are going to discuss inner stillness and why it's so important to both of us, why it's a daily practice that makes the rest of our lives as beautiful as can be. What does inner stillness mean to you, and why does it matter?
Yeah, I'll just start by telling the story of how I found inner stillness. So it was years ago, I was in my late 20s and I was in UC Davis, California. I was doing a postdoc there. So I had gotten my doctorate. I was doing this really cool research. I had all these friends. I had a cat. I had a condo. I had like everything you're supposed to have in order to be happy. And I wasn't feeling happy. I'm like, what am I missing? I just had a sense that something was missing and I thought it was something spiritual. So I went on a journey to find that. And since I was in California, the first thing that I explored was a goddess group because, it was California. And while that was super empowering and joyful, it wasn't what I was looking for. But in the meantime, I met a woman there who was this fiery Aries, like someone else I know who's a fiery Aries. And she also was really grounded. She had this very solid energy to her. And I thought, I want what she has. So I got to know her a little bit. And it turns out she meditated. And I thought, So that planted the seed for me. So fast forward is about a year later. I'm in Washington, D.C. now. And one of the first people I meet was this wonderful woman at a coffee shop. She had this beautiful, vibrant energy. And I went and introduced myself, and we became kindred spirits. So her name's Meredith. And that first day I met her, she talked to me about meditation. So she taught me how to meditate. And her tradition was through Tibetan Buddhist meditation. So that's how I learned. But here's what the whole point of bringing it to inner stillness. What happened for me when I meditated, and it happened the first time, but it's continued throughout, is I had the experience. And meditation, she taught me, was just mindfulness of the breath. So breathing in, I feel my in breath, breathing out, I feel my out breath. And by doing that for 20 minutes, I had touched this inner stillness. I was searching for something external my whole life to make me feel fundamentally okay. And then I found it when I meditated, because in that moment of sort of quiet or space or stillness was that feeling. It was a feeling of fundamental okayness. I'm fundamentally good in this moment. Everything is fundamentally okay in this moment. And that was the beginning of me having a taste of what that feels like. And so ever since then, I have a committed meditation practice because nothing grounds me the way the meditation, and then nothing grounds me the way finding my own inner stillness does. Yeah.
It's a beautiful story.
So, and how about you? Tell me about your journey to inner stillness.
I mean, for a lot of my adult life, I had a strong, addictive relationship with alcohol. So once I broke up with alcohol as a daily partner, so to speak, and at the end of 2019, I started feeling so much better. I started feeling more at peace, and I started to really get to know myself for the first time in my life. And that's when I started meditating, and I learned from you
Mhm.
focus on the breath and mindfulness and stillness in that way. It's just completely improved my life. Inner stillness is directly tied with meditation. To me, it means that I have a peace within, and that's my baseline. It's a coming home to myself. It's a way that the external world is a direct reflection of what's going on inside, right? So, like back a decade ago when I was drinking all the time and partying and not connecting with my soul, not connecting with my divinity, my life was chaotic and dramatic and not enjoyable a lot of the time. But once I realized how important the peace within was to me, then my world became a direct reflection of it. So that's why it's so important to me to continue to have my baseline of peace within, to be the love and the light that I am every single day, so that my life is a reflection of that and I can help touch the lives of others with just being who I am and being that peace. And so the next segment I kind of want to speak on is how we create that inner stillness. So we've both talked about meditation already. That's obviously something that's near and dear, and it's integral if you're on the spiritual path, if you're in touch with your soul. And there's so many different types of meditation practices. Obviously, what it looks like to us is not going to be the same for anybody else. There's walking meditation, there's breath meditation, there's mantras, there's so many different ways. But besides just meditation, just creating a environment around me at all times that is peaceful. So what that looks like in my home is there's this incredible, they're on YouTube and Spotify, they're called inner lotus music, and it's hertz frequencies that tap into your chakras. And so that's something that I usually have on at home when I'm just relaxing.
Yeah.
And I spend a lot of time in nature, out technology and distractions, not spending time on social media. I deleted my Facebook, I think like in 2020 or 2021. That was an amazing decision.
Mhm.
So I'm not wasting my life getting stuck in doom scrolling like a lot of people do. So that's a beautiful way to create inner stillness.
Yeah, absolutely. Three
Yeah.
snaps. Ah,
And that's something that people struggle with a lot, I know.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's a really easy way, I think, for anybody to start is delete social media if you want to go balls to the wall, or just have some boundaries around it, right? Spend 5 or 10 minutes a day if you want, not an hour to 3 hours like a lot of people do.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Yoga practice is another thing that's super important to me, to have that inner stillness. Going to the gym as well, because if we're in touch with our physical bodies, then it's easier to be in touch with your soul. Health is it's a circle, right? So it's mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, and then
Mhm.
positive mindset is also something that I've really realized recently that's super important. And I've honestly always had a positive mindset throughout my life, even during my darkest days. And it's not
Mm.
about being like, oh, rainbows and butterflies all the time and everything's fine, because that's spiritual bypassing, right? We're gonna go
Right.
through hard times and we're gonna have feelings of anger or guilt or fear, but it's moving through those emotions, alchemizing them, turning them into something beautiful, and having gratitude every single day for all the abundance that you have in your life. That's just like such an important part of my day to day, to create that inner stillness and keep that as my baseline, keep my home within beautiful.
Mm.
So, what are, besides, I guess, besides meditation, what are some other ways that you create the inner stillness?
Let's see. I think Lex, when you were talking, actually, a thought came up for me that that's where my brain is now. So I think I want to talk about that, which was you're using stillness and peace interchangeably. And for me, I can have inner stillness and it's not peaceful inside. So what I mean by that is I'm my mind is calm, like I'm still, and in that stillness, I can attend to some sort of quivering that's there, or some sort of discomfort that might be there. So the stillness allows me to be with it or to notice it, right? So when
Mhm.
we're just barreling through life, right? We're moving from one to do item to the next, and one meeting to the next, and one social event to the next. There's no kind of space. And nowadays, whenever we have any kind of quiet solo time, people fill it with what you were just saying by getting on their phones. And so we just don't have we over time, through circumstances and cultural influences, the sort of moments where we might feel kind of lazy or bored are all kind of evaporating a bit. So I think what I'm kind of in a roundabout way going to answer your question, because I think one of the things that's necessary in order for me to just know what's going on inside me, inner, because this the topic's inner stillness, is to just stop from all the various things, to let myself have the evening free. Like there's nobody's coming over, I'm not going out, there's no soccer game planned or whatever. And my first reaction to that, just like when I was in my late 20s, could be just this default uneasiness, like I'm alone, now what? Like a little bit of, am I going to be okay? And it's just like that's just historical reaction for me, right? That's old stuff. So it's just pushing through that, and instead I got all this spaciousness this evening. There's nothing planned and I'm not going to fill it. So I think that's one of the things that is part of my effort to create inner stillness, is letting the white space be white. And it's hard for me to do, admittedly. I'll want to call someone, or it's like, no. And so then also when I do meditate and then, or whatever, I have those moments where I'm going inward, and it isn't just, you said sunshine and roses, but I see a little bit of mud. It's like, oh, oh, there's some mud there, huh? And I do that all with, over the years, this has evolved, but I do that now with a lot of curiosity. So it's not like, shit, there's mud, I got to get rid of the mud. It's like, oh no, there's mud, huh? What do I, let me give it some space and just sort of sit with it. And by mud, I can mean like, oh, I'm feeling some anxiety right now, or oh, I'm feeling a little bit of doubt right now, and it's just being with it, not trying to look at it through a magnifying glass, but just noticing and being present to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I thank you for sharing. I love that. Like, there's going to be mud, right? There's going to be stuff, but it's clearing that out. And if we don't give ourselves the space and the time and the attention within
Mhm.
to work through that, to see what's going on and to release it and let it go and surrender to it, then we're not going to have inner stillness. And I think that was such a great point about, we live in such a hustle culture that most people, they don't create that time for themselves. And even it's been such a huge topic on my mind recently, just because I was working so much the past month, and I just felt just too overwhelmed, and I just felt like I had no time to myself. And when I did have time to myself, I just wanted to like sleep, which is fine. I just wanted to like get in nap mode, which was still beautiful because I did still meditate. But for somebody who's been on the path for years and seeing how much I struggled when I was too busy recently, it's like, think about your average person that is not there yet. So I can't imagine how like chaotic most people's minds are these days and most people's inner worlds are. And again, if we look at the world externally right now, there's so much crazy stuff happening, and that's a direct reflection of what's going on in the collective consciousness inside.
So
So,
how did you shift? Like, so I'm hearing you recognize the challenge of maintaining your inner stillness during these challenging couple weeks, and sort of an empathy you're having for others who grapple with that. Yeah, we're human. Yeah, you and I, we might be like sharing what we've learned along the way, but we're not doing it 100%. And that doesn't mean there's anything wrong or we're not practicing well. It just means we're human, and we're not going to be able to do all these good things for ourselves all the time. That's just part of the human condition. So, what impact did you notice that had, and how did you find your way back to inner stillness? Or did you?
oh yeah, for sure. By just really, really utilizing the time that I did have off to give myself space and not have as much planned as I did before. Instead of going to lunch between a double with my friends, which I love doing when I did, I would come home, take a shower, give myself the space during that 1 to 2 hours that I did have for myself to just reground, spend some time outside,
And
meditate.
What did you notice by doing that?
that I felt like myself again.
Yeah, you used the language earlier. You called it coming home.
Yes.
That's powerful language.
Yeah, because heaven is within. And once you realize that, because there could be crazy things happening in the world, but if you let all of that get to you and you suffer inside because of that, then I mean, what's the good in that?
Yeah, you don't have the energy to do anything positive,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
it's to make the world better, to do anything about whatever it is you're seeing in the world. If
Mhm.
it's demoralizing you, depleting you, shifting your thinking into stinking thinking. That was a concept we brought up, I think, in the last episode or a couple episodes ago. And you brought up one of the things you focus on to have inner stillness is your mindset. So it might be interesting for us to talk a little bit more about that, this concept of stinking thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think about when you say that term, stinking thinking?
Yeah, I mean, in a way, I like it because it allows us to not feel a victim of our thinking. It's labeling the type of thinking that wreaks havoc. So stinking thinking, and then the sort of rhyming part is kind of playful. Yeah, is when we think thoughts that basically disempower us,
Mm.
that take away our sense of agency, and that somehow put us in victim mode. And when we're in victim mode, we have no agency.
Mhm.
So, stinking thinking, what we think, our mindset is so critical. And there's so much cool research out there now that about how our thoughts, the power of our thoughts, can help create like how we feel physically. I was just watching a video yesterday about a recent study where they did placebo knee surgeries on some people and then regular knee surgeries on other people. And the people who had the placebo knee surgery felt better
Mhm.
as well because they had the expectation that
Mhm.
they were going to feel better. So there's so much power in the mind. I mean, we can't always just think ourselves into good health. I don't mean that. Like, I don't, it's not taking it to the extreme, but there is so much evidence that what we think creates our reality,
Mhm.
right? Yeah.
1,000%. It does. And if you give in to all these negative thought patterns and the stinking thinking all the time, then chances are your life is going to have a bunch of issues in it and you're going to manifest all the stuff that you're giving all the energy to. But what if instead of having these negative thought spirals, we had positive ones?
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Where it's going to be things are going to go so great, it's going to be so beautiful instead of
Yeah.
man, this is going to suck, things are the worst. So just completely reframe that. Again, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have issues arise in your life, but if you stay in a positive mindset and you see the good in every situation, you see the lesson that you need to learn in every situation, then you're going to be able to have that inner stillness instead of just
Mm,
be in this chaotic mindset. We really do have so much more power than we realize. And the mind is a grounds for spiritual warfare. And if you don't have agency over your own mind, then other things will. Social
mm,
media, the algorithm will,
powerful.
symbolism will. Like, there's so many different things that will have power over you if you don't take control of yourself, because we're the
I
observer of our thoughts, we are not our thoughts.
Yes, exactly. And that's where we have agency and power. We get to choose. We're not choiceless.
Hmm.
So I love this idea of positive spirals. Oh my gosh, and maybe I'll have it go up. Right. So this is negative spiral. Oh, I just am acting it out. Like this is positive spiral up. Because just before this, everyone, Lexi and I had the bloopers. I mean, we had so many tech challenges before this episode. We were both ready to throw ourselves off the roof here.
Wow.
And we didn't. That's me being dramatic.
We spent more time on the technical issues than we will spend on this whole episode, so just to
Exactly.
put it
Yeah.
into
So
perspective.
but for me, I was coming from, I think the positive spiral. I'm like, no, let's do it. Let's do it anyway. We could shift the energy because we were thinking of not doing it. Right. So that I think was an example of, a
Mhm.
positive spiral. Yeah, we can make this work. It can still be a positive experience, even though we've been wanting to pull our hair out for the last 40 minutes. Right.
Yeah, no, for sure. Isn't the positive spiral beautiful? I when I do use Instagram, I usually use it maybe 15 to 30 minutes a week. Sometimes I'll go into that hour, but yeah, I'll look every few days. I follow all like electronic music stuff and then spiritual things. So yesterday when I was on just for some pep in my step, that idea of the positive spiral came from this a page called Power of Positivity. And I was just like, wow, yes. So much yes to that. It's not something that I've like really thought about, but I realize that at times it's definitely something that I do anyways,
Yeah.
because again, it circles back to gratitude and being grateful for the things that we do have in this life.
Yeah.
And there's nothing greater to shift your inner world than having that gratitude, really. I think that's just something that helps me so much every single day.
Agreed. Agreed. Like I was just going through this. I'm kind of in between careers in a way, because I left a federal job last year and just been trying to recreate myself. And I had my own business for years before that, and I was kind of like, okay, I'll do that again now, and I'm just not feeling it. But like meaning I don't have the mojo for starting my own business again. So I've just been getting in touch with that. But one of the ways that just recently, like today, yesterday, in the last few days, I've been doing is I've been grateful for every client I have.
Mm.
So the opposite was, oh, I need more clients,
Mhm.
which brings this energy of attachment and not enoughness. But now I've been just and I was booked all day yesterday, all day today. And after each client, I said, I'm so grateful for so and so. I'm so grateful I have this. So today I'm just noticing already how it's like lifting me up. It's a
Mhm.
bit of a energy of abundance.
Yes, exactly. Abundance versus scarcity. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah. And again, it's moment to moment, right? So it's like I'm not doing abundance every moment of every day, even though I'm here talking about it now. There's plenty of opportunities where I'm in scarcity. So it's noticing
Mhm.
and then choosing,
Yep. Pulling
okay,
yourself out of it.
yeah, like I'm in stinking thinking. How can I pivot and choose something that's more accurate? Which
Mhm.
is, oh, look at the beautiful blue sky right now.
Yeah, cuz I mean again, most of our suffering in our lives is because of us. I mean, and it's a choice. And that doesn't mean again that you're not going to have terrible things that do happen in your life, but it's how do you move through it and heal and grow from it and respond to it and not react to it. And when you respond to life and you're not reacting to life, then you're moving about life in a conscious way. And then, in my opinion, that's how you maintain inner stillness.
Absolutely. Well put. I'm going through something right now that's actually really challenging. And I'm so pleased because I'm being non reactive at the moment.
Mm.
And I'm noticing I'm being non reactive and I'm not spinning out. I'm just like, this feels so good. So I'm kind of giving myself a pat on the back. So yes, to what Lexi said.
That's amazing. Wonderful. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us today for another episode of Bounce. Let us know what you do to create the inner stillness within. We'd love to hear from you guys, and we appreciate you and love each and every one of you.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Good to be with you today.
Bye.
Bye.